Hi, everyone. Before we're getting started in roughly 4 minutes, I want to quickly show you that these podcast episodes are already up and running on Spotify and Apple Podcast. So it is, all these are German episodes. So it's episode number 14, digitale Touchpoints zwischen On und Offline. It is this one about point of sale activation at Schleich, as well as the one with fashion as well, which is Bräuninger Grenzen durchbrechen mit Omnichannel apps. And the newest upload from last Friday is Burger King, the digital journey from Burger King with Julia Barsch. So we're getting started in a few minutes. Just a quick disclaimer, this is going to be an English episode, and Dominik is head of insights and analytics East Europe at H&M, but we will not specifically speak about H&M in this episode. We will talk about the fashion industry, the trends, and the issues the fashion industry in general has. So please keep that in mind when you ask your questions. Looking forward to listening to them and reading them here on the LinkedIn Live video podcast.
What will change is the demand and the request from the people of high quality food accessible 24/7.
Es ist sehr wichtig, dass die Kolleginnen und Kollegen da draußen einen Einstiegspunkt haben.
Um dann mobile Zahlungen anzubieten und so die Fläche viel besser nutzen und die Ware in den Fokus stellen.
Retail O-Tones, retail experts on the... Aloha and welcome to this episode of Retail O-Tones, where retail experts grab the mic. My name is Alexis. I'm a retail reporter and moderator, and I love talk about retail technology and how it actually impacts people within the stores, the customer as well as the employees. As you can hear, this is an English episode. So I try to stay in my very English to actually be able to communicate with the guests that I'm having here today. So, Dominik, great to have you here.
Hello.
So, you are our UX fashion expert. So, at today's episode, we're going to focus on loyalty in the fashion industry. Can you let us know how did you actually get to the fashion industry and give us 2, 3 examples of why fashion is a bit different than maybe groceries?
It's definitely different. First of all, it's highly determined with seasonality, mood, trends changing, and it's extremely fast environment that is moving so quick recently. And like due to my background, because I'm coming with various background from sport and home furnishing industry, I could say I always in my career have a mission like to change people's lives. So once you do sport, you change your life. Once you furnish your apartment, you actually organize your life, and now you style yourself. So that's how I get into fashion, right?
I kind of got an idea which companies you're talking about, but whoever wants to hop on your LinkedIn and have a look, they can do that. I will also pinpoint your LinkedIn profile down in the show notes.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, so fashion is different, fashion is demanding, and fashion is something that is totally transitioning between online and offline in my experience. I got something here, which is the package of the brand Snox. They used to be a pure online player, and now they use their power as a love brand to actually go in stores as well. So, Dominik, the question to you as a fashion expert: what is actually more difficult, starting as a brick and mortar retailer and going online, or is it being an online pure player in e-commerce and then going into stores? What's your opinion about that?
That's a $1 million question, right?
An easy thing for the beginning.
E- Exactly. I would say it's equally difficult depending on your starting point. And of course, when you're brick and mortar and you're moving into online, the challenges you're facing, it's starting from the profitability, how to set up the sustainable business model without having it based on the physical stores and utilize your logistics and then how to enable the customers to buy in a smooth and easy way together with how to present the product, right? Because it's totally different when you can touch and feel, and there are also challenges on that way. While you are an online player, and we see already on the market many players doing what you just described, like trying to get into this, and we can clearly see that, of course, you have everything that's new that has been recently uploaded to the business through the online channel, and then you have everything. But then starting to build your own physical store is not that easy because then you need to basically invent the whole business model and then start to interact with the consumers in a super good way. And I would say this is extremely challenging, but also brings a lot of benefits for the consumers, especially.
So you would say the best thing is to go omni-channel always? Is omni-channel the answer to everything?
I would say I see many industries trying to get, although it was forever brick and mortar. I remember working in my previous company, like it was said that nobody can sell furniture through online business. Now it's the reality, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
could risk that most of the things should be omni because the market is omni. So we should follow what are the moods for us as the consumers. And then this is the best clue for the brand, right?
Totally. It's so funny because we have in so this podcast season has been mostly German, and we have been talking about customer satisfaction in omnichannel. And there is one word, one phrase that always came up. It was Kanal egal, which means literally, if you translate it one on one, the customer does not give a fuck about the channel that you provide. They want to have the channels they need. They are in, and
Mm,
it's a no brainer.
Exactly. Like they don't care about how we settle. They just want to buy in a smooth and easy way, and then they choose the companies who has it, right?
Absolutely. We're yeah, I think we're totally clear on that. But in this episode, we want to focus on the loyalty topic
Mm-hmm.
within Omnichannel. This is very, very, very specific topic that you and I chose when we discussed about the topic of this episode, because at the same time, it is really, really broad. I think loyalty is such a big thing now in 2024, and it will get so much more intense throughout the next years, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion.
Definitely.
How do you define loyalty?
Mm-hmm. I would say there are different layers of the loyalties. And then in the past, we used to say that the loyalty is that something is just coming back to us frequently because they buy it. And now, what we observe on the market, like consumers has never been that not loyal as they are now. And what changed it? The growth of e-commerce, comparison. You can check the offer across in 1 minute with your mobile phone. You have tool for that, so it's not that easy to keep them loyal with us. And I would risk saying that this transactional, like we give you something and then you stay loyal, it's gone already. And we are moving slowly into this emotional layers of loyalty. So I buy in the brand because I trust it, because I believe it, because I want to be the part of the community. And I would risk the statement saying that the trust climb up the stairs and goes down with an elevator. So if you just do something nice once, it's not enough for the customers to be loyal. You need to repeat this, make an opportunity for them, communicate with them, and then it might happen that you do something wrong. But when you are not reacting in a proper way, it actually goes into elevator and moving into other competitor, right?
This is really interesting that you're saying that. I truly believe that building a love brand is one of the keys. So hitting this step that you just mentioned. Coming back to the grass box that I'm having here, not doing advertisement, by the way. I just say that I bought of this brand because they've got they've got such a strong personal brand here on LinkedIn and on Instagram. So I really felt like I was part of the community. So I invested into buying. But then once I've received like tons of advertisement via email, and then they launched their WhatsApp newsletter, which may be awesome for people that buy frequently and just want to have a bargain. I felt like this is a bit too much. So I
Mhm.
kind of disconnected of everything. And now obviously I'm showing this as a positive example because I think like still the packaging and everything was great. The user experience, if I'm there, is great. But people are very different in how much traction and touch points they want to have, right?
Mm. We are actually now bombarded with the communications, and I don't know if anybody was able to count how many communication during the day we received from the brands, from our mobile phone, and like people are literally getting tired with this, and we can clearly see like the growing popularity of the digital detox that is becoming more popular. And I would say like as a brand we need to be super smart how to balance the communication and make the customers the right choice. So we need to help them to clarify how often they would like to receive the communication for us, so it's not only about doing the bombarding but also about being just right with the communication.
Which
But yes.
which is really
Mm,
interesting that you're saying it this way, because when I unsubscribe from a newsletter, for example, they always ask why, and one of the
ah,
points is always asking, okay, it's too frequent, it's not relevant. So I see they're collecting data to see why are people actually leaving.
but that's the truth, because I would say without data as a companies we are just another company with an opinion what our consumers want. So that's why the brands want to have the communication. But coming back to this trust, I would say like it is proven, and I come through the survey where it was clearly coming from this, that if I trust the brand, I'm more tolerant toward the informations they are actually sending to me. But if this is only transactional, then I'm actually giving up, because there is like, you just don't need any more socks or pants or anything. Basically,
Yeah.
my
There is just so much I need.
yeah, but there we're coming to the topic of how to make it the content that we are sending a little bit more elevated, so it's not the transactional deal. And the question is how to get into this, build this emotional connection with the brand, right?
Yes.
There I think like probably we're coming to the concept, okay, so is it like customers should be loyal to us, or maybe we as a brand should be loyal to their customers, then they are loyal to us in reverse.
Okay, wait. So when we had our pre-talk, you dropped a word which I did not dare to research because I'm pretty sure you're going to explain it to us. It's called reverse loyalty. So you
Hmm?
explain to us what loyalty is in your opinion, but what's the concept of reverse loyalty?
Mm. This is something that I heard from my friend who is freak about loyalty, and we always shift the minds. And he really sent me this idea about this. And since I started to live with this, I really believe that this is something that I try to drive my business, whatever I'm responsible for. And there, in this concept of reverse loyalty, it's exactly when we as a brand will be loyal to the customers, they will be loyal to us in the long run. And that creates an effort from the companies to put the loyalty in the heart of everything we do. Actually, the consumers and the customers in the heart of everything we do. So maybe it should be starting from this rather from any other KPI that we can measure, and then it blooms.
Okay, but what does that mean for fashion precisely? Because they
Mm,
do they create fashion pieces, maybe cool collaborations with designers. So one service would be um, creating clothes in cooperation with I'm lacking the word with a famous
designer.
designer, so that thank you, so that's affordable to me. This would be one thing where
Mm.
with
But this everybody can do, right?
yeah.
And
Well, if
now,
you have the
like,
connections and the money, yeah, you can.
yeah, that's true. My current company was one of the first who actually started the designer collab, and I would say like now it's spreading across, and it's quite popular to collab on the certain collections. But when you think about the reverse loyalty, you also speak about this added value. So I would say, what if I tell you that we're speaking here about the addressing the main pain points, not waiting for the consumers to leave it. So what is the main pain points for the let's say physical store? And you come for your favorite piece of clothing in the Saturday because you have a day off, and then you come and it's a huge crowd waiting to try on something, right?
Mhm.
And you don't have that much time, and you have like 1 hour, and you need to wait in a queue because there is so much people in the
Hate it.
physical store.
Yeah.
Everybody hates it, right? What if I tell you that technology can now provide you a virtual try on, but in the store? So you stand in front of the mirror and you actually see that this is on you without taking off your clothes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
how do you feel first time when you enter the store and somebody just touched your like the worst pain point that you've ever had, right?
It's still about, I mean, I can feel the fabric, which is
Yes.
great. So I have the physical touch, and I want to see how the fit is. Having a virtual it's augmented reality, right? No, it's virtual
Yeah,
reality.
like it's a virtual reality and it's add-on. Of course, it's supported by the technology, and now it's already, I would say, in. So it's like there are the first stores having this already. And then I tell you that you saw other customer there, and she has a fabulous shoes that you loved. You just met her in this store.
Yeah.
And what if I tell you that you take on your phone, you open the app, and then you do the visual search, and you immediately check in if in this store I can find something similar that matches you. Exactly those shoes. And you can check the pricing, you can check when they will be available or if, and then where. Does
Okay,
it sound like a nice thing?
this is totally interesting. The question is like, do I need an app for that? How do I get the service as a
Let's say, of
customer?
course, you need an app, right? You need a device and the software providing this. I would say this is the future of becoming an omni-channel that we mentioned already. So I believe personally that applications, it's something that like it's a must have. It's not if, but rather like how developed it should be for the smooth omni-channel journey to address the pain points, to communicate with the consumers. And then, like, of course, you need an app for this and you need to be a consumer, but you can use, as a retailer, you can use many ways to promote certain feature. But first, you need to know what I've said. You need to know data. You need to know the pain points of your consumers. And if you know that the main pain point is the try-on and it's, I know, availability, then you address them in a way that they really like, and that goes together with the experience and
Can
loyalty.
we collect a couple more of the fashion specific pain points? Because I have not, besides the Bräuninger episode, I have not been focusing too much on the fashion industry, just because it's super difficult compared to all the other industries that we have, in my opinion. So obviously we have the lines in front of the dressing rooms to try the stuff, clothes, like size availability.
Oh yes, yes. This is something that I guess all of us here has faced. Like, okay, I think this was my size, but in fact, it's
Yeah,
not. So
then we have queues at the cashier, where I know that there has been quite some movement talking about self checkout, which I
exactly.
think is really interesting. Like Decathlon has been the very first one going very strong with the RFID self checkout, but also other companies have now put in the effort and technology and the money into having like self-detached, like detaching the hard tags by hand as well, which I think is great as a solution. But what else? What else up there?
You mentioned something that I think it's worth to distinguish for us and the audience, like basically size availability and size accuracy. It's
Ah,
something that we have like two things, because when it's like I'm hunting for the product and I want to have my size, but then it turns out that this size in this company is actually not 40 but it's 42, or
mhm.
so this is something that it's the pain point, and it's the need to address them basically when you solve it. And I would say what you raised is RFID development is something that goes across. And I would say, like, understanding if the product is on stock at a certain moment when I visit the store is one of the basic things that we need to address in general. And it's not going to the fashion only. It's basically something that we face. But what if I come to the store and it's gone already, because this is something like buy now and or it's over? So then what you need to do as a retailer, how to secure this digital experience to keep these customers so they buy something else instead, or they order for online once we have them in the store already.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're already in the middle of our second big topic, which is how can the customer experience be improved within physical stores?
Mhm.
Because I truly believe that the tech gadget that you mentioned, like the smart mirror, the RFID checkout, these are great things, but we're facing other issues like the fit, the availability as well. Um, when would you say is the best time to actually use a retailer app? Is it on the couch? Is it within the store? How do you see that for the fashion industry?
Like, the journey starts with an inspirations basically, and this is all about, like, I guess we all know that it's kind of impulsive buying, that you think I will look good, I love it. So basically, we, most of us do not imagine ourselves in certain piece of clothing before you see this
Yeah,
particular product,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
You just like it or not. So
yeah.
then I believe, so it now the market is highly influenced also by influencers, like what I see in the ads and everything, like the style. So I guess there is a lot of factors that currently determines when we exactly use the app. So I would say there are different purposes, because of course the inspiration is pre-journey. So I basically scan if I find something nice, and this is highly determined by the weather. So basically, I need something because the sun goes out, and now it's the summer. So, or I'm going for the vacation, or it's becoming cold, right? So that is the
Well, yes,
the desire,
seasonal styles, of course.
seasonal styles that determines. But also there are these groups of the fashion lovers and these people who are basically want to dress nice, and we want to speak for them to the brands because they just want to be trendy. They want to follow the latest trend, and their first is to have the product that is on the latest trends in the time where it's needed. And the second of all, when I buy it, I want to have the smooth journey. So this is another purpose to use an app. Basically, if I know it works well, I have the digital receipt there, visual search, I have an inspiration, maybe some personalized offer. Coming back to what we said, maybe there is a gift waiting for me that I can utilize. There is a lot of things, or maybe something interesting is going on, and then we comes back to communication. So do you have the notifications on or not? Because this is the channel of communicating with the brand directly.
I think that you mentioned a lot of important points. Darko is giving us one really interesting input here. He's asking, is in the near future a digital product pass something that's possible? I define product pass as I see certain I see certain details on the product, but also reverse. Can I, as Alexis Zingeni, put down my measurement within the app so
Mm-hmm.
that I get recommendations and size recommendations maybe based on my measurements and not being like, well, maybe I need a large, maybe I need a medium, maybe an extra large. I don't know. So not having this negative, super negative experience of trying on 3 different sizes and then being like,
Well, I think it's already on for a few companies. Like just you just upload your sizes from different angles, then you save them, and when you receive the product, it's good for the marketplaces, and there are marketplaces well known also in Germany that we know they are trying to adjust and match that. You know that for this brand you have this size, for this you have another, and there is a nice thing that basically once you receive the product, again coming back to the data, you just say was the size correct, and you answer yes or no, thumbs up, thumbs down, and
yeah,
then yes, the size was correct. So then it goes to the algorithm that this size actually fits you, and this brand has that parameters. And I would say this is something that of course can help. I see this question from Darko, and maybe there is something in this about also the digital passport. I'm not sure if the pass is the short or not, but potentially, of course, it comes also together. I recently met a lot of info about the origins of the product, so the digital passport coming back with the carbon print and everything where it was produced. And I believe that this is not, again, it's not the question if, but when it will implemented. Looking at the legislation, that basically the winners of this will be the ones who actually do it now, and we the companies who are monitoring the supply chain 100% end to end, they will be the winners of the battle in all of the industries.
interesting. Yeah, I think this exactly answered the question. I would like to go back into retail tech within physical stores. So there are certain extra services that retailer can provide, like click and collect, click and reserve, especially in fashion where you have to try things on. I believe this is a very strong leverage if you do it right. So if
Mm,
I'm getting things sent home and then I can return it in the store for free, for example, is this something I would do? Depending on where the next store is.
mm,
So I think it's very difficult depending on how many stores you actually have throughout a certain area, throughout countries. You can offer these services or not. In your experience, what is the most valuable online to offline service
mm.
that
I would,
retailer can offer the customers based on
I
data?
I think like one of the most, I would say, one service that I love the most personally, and it's extremely popular in Poland. I think it might also be one of the origins of this method, is this parcel lockers available 24 hours 7, that you basically cannot like develop your PUDO network by the number of points that you can access all the time, and it's waiting for you like 2 days. So basically it increases availability of the retailer, even though I don't have the physical store, but I can collect that when I come back from work during the night, and also I can return the product. I can pay there with my card, and now we have it in Poland that they implemented the pay, and I don't even need to have a reader. I just pay with the app. So it's
Okay,
like
wow.
extremely smooth. I can tell you, it's. I would say this is like omni-channel level high, where you actually don't even talk to the retailer door. You pay for everything, and it's totally safe because it's in the app, and you just pay when you see the good is actually there because it's in the locker. So there is no risk, like actually it will be gone on the way or some damages might happen, right? So this is what we are facing in Poland now.
Are these like multi-retailer lockers, so many retailers can ship their stuff there, or is it one retailer that offers like a click and collect within this lockers? Because DM is doing that here in Germany as well, so you can just like order anything through the app or online, and then you can pick it up within 2 hours, after 2 hours from the lockers.
We have both. Like basically, also in my like in the fashion industry, we see a lot of going on right this. In my existing company, we also have this in the stores. Like you can collect yourself, but the retailers I'm meaning now, it's the one that is having this offered for everyone. So basically, every retailer can join, and it's like a huge marketplace. And I can tell you, I have the one. You can now see them growing like mushrooms after the rain, and
Yeah.
I have mine 2 minutes away from my home, and to be really honest, I don't recall myself the time since I ordered any other delivery method myself, because it's so cheap, so popular, so convenient, and it's so eco-friendly because it uses a lot of space, and you can do basically a lot of stuff there.
Totally. And yeah, and then you can just get the stuff you need, try it on at home, and just return it there very easily without going to the store as well.
Mm. They are trying the groceries now as well. So I'm not sure where they land because it's kind of tricky because you basically have a huge fridge that you need to place. It's not that big yet, but I've seen some tests already.
Yeah. So I know we're talking about fashion on like a bigger scale here. The point that I want to drive home here with this episode is also where to start, because this massive thing of omni-channel, especially looking into loyalty, is still quite a broad topic. So Dominik, from your experience, if a retailer starts as a brick and mortar retailer going online, what are the must-haves from
Mm,
your point of view to actually become a loved brand and offer
mm.
this reverse loyalty approach?
Uh, I think there is something that we touch upon a bit. It's starting from understanding who is our consumer and who we want to talk to as a brand. And by understanding this, I'm not speaking being data driven. We tell it all the time, not anymore. I think we should be data informed. And what it means, like we have data, we have qualitative insights, we have also our intuition, we read the trends, we understand them, and then based on this, we make the decision, right? So you need to be data informed. Your data structure should be organized in a way that you can easily read and support. Like using an AI now, it's not about anymore the number of data, it's about the quality of data you have, right? So once you have the good data quality and understanding the main purpose of the consumers, you connect that with the qualitative insights and your intuition, what you're actually gonna do, what's the value proposition you're gonna offer, then they will love you, they will stay with you, and you will become big, right?
So would you say that this is the differentiator, the USP that European companies have versus like Asian companies pushing into the market?
I would say so, and but I would say they are extremely good in collecting data and understanding us even more last years. And I'm also one of the consumers, so I can see how it's changing. So I would say keeping this competitive advantage will not be that easy anymore, right? So I guess now you can say yes, you can distinguish. You can also imply some legislation to stop it a bit, but at a certain point, to protect the competitiveness, you need to stay ahead and stay all the time on your toes to uh, to implement, to invest in technology development, to be more smooth in omnichannel. But also, last but not least, I think maybe it's good to conclude with this, and I wanted to mention that the loyalty is not only technology, it's not only development, it's the people. And the best loyalty speaker is the coworkers who are meet offline on the chat or in the store, right? And if you, as a company, care about your employees, then the consumer will love it because this puts the human face behind the brand. And recently, I had today there is a situation from yesterday. Like we had a small drama on LinkedIn where one of the influencer went to the bank and it was about 5 minutes to be closed, and he wanted to open an account and pay 1 million euro there. And the coworker said that it's not possible because we are closing in 5 minutes and it's too big. And he posted, he was so like couldn't believe. And the bank, like the official statement of the bank was, we care about customers the same way we care about our employees. And that was the only statement the bank made. And you wouldn't imagine that was so strong. I had a goosebump.
That's a statement. This is a statement.
This is the statement that we stay behind what we do and we really believe that we are doing the business through people, right?
And we always say the people in the store are the face to the customer of the brand. You can have the best online customer service, you can have the best products. If you have a question and there is no one in the store that can answer your question, or if the answer is not good or nice, or at least in a nice tone, as a friendly, sorry, I can't help you, let me have a look. Oh, sorry, it's not available. Like this is such a big thing. So with all the tech that we talked about, you say focus is still not only on data and decision, but also on the humans, training the people on site and
It's the
taking them
biggest power.
along.
When you
on
connect
journey.
that, I would say it's a perfect mariage.
Beautiful, Dominik. We already reached our time. We still have a couple of questions here on my side, but I think we need to do that maybe in a second interview or in the comments later on. Thank you so much for being here. This was loyalty from your point of view in fashion. Dominik, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. And thank you for everyone who joined the podcast.
So this was episode number 20, Retail O-Tones Live. Next week, we're switching back into German to the very last episode of the season, which is, as I said, in German. It's Tuesday, 2:00, and we're going to talk about Zapfsäule meets Zukunft, Digitalisierung an den Hemmtankstellen. Und die Frage ist hier, warum muss ich eigentlich eine Tankstelle digitalisieren und welche Rolle spielt eine App an dieser Stelle? Kommt mit rein, stellt auch gerne vorab eure Fragen, meldet euch an. Den Anmeldelink packe ich euch natürlich auch hier wieder in die Kommentare. Danke, dass ihr dabei gewesen seid. Schreibt gerne, wie ihr die Folge fandet. Und ja, ich freue mich aufs nächste Mal. Ciao!